Hello and welcome to our Okie Dokie Life. It's a little windy today and I don't have a mic to put on, so I hope our sound sounds okay. When we were with you last time and we were putting this greenhouse together, we discovered after we got it all put together that one side had an issue and the holes weren't pre-drilled. So kind of had to come up with a plan of how to fix that solution. So I've got a few little things. I'm going to show you the holes real quick, just kind of help you understand what I'm talking about. So just to help you understand what I'm talking about, this little crossbar right here is designed to keep it very, very sturdy. Keep all the tension built to help it stay steady. Over on this side, there's a hole to start the bar, but then there's nothing on the other side. And they did that on every one of these. So what I ended up doing was I took this old TV mount, it wasn't any good anymore, it had a broken hinge on it, but it's perfect because it has evenly spaced holes all the way across, and I just put 2 bolts in it, just simple bolts in it, and put a nut on the end just to keep them steady, and so that way I can get a perfectly centered hole punched through that pipe. I don't have to walk all over the pipe and everything. It helps me guide my drill bit through it. So I'm going to go through and get all these installed real quick. I'll see you when I'm done. Say hi to the camera. Ranger, what are you doing? He's a good boy. He's helping me with this project. Sorta. Helping me by finding bones and scaring the sheep. So I've gone through and just hung all these just real loose and simple. And then that way I just have to swing this over. I already marked this one, but I just have to swing it over, get it lined up, and mark it with a pencil. So, and then we'll go through and drill them all. What you doing? That last attempt didn't work very well, so my camera kept falling. So let's try it on this one. So like I did there, I just kind of get it centered and then keep tension on it. Drill my hole. Put it right in the perfect spot. The one thing that would have made my little tool a little bit better was if the holes that I was drilling through would have been a little bit smaller. It would have been a little bit easier and a little bit more of a stable guide, but it still did the job for what I needed, so I'm happy with it. So now that we're done, I'm just going to go through and get these all put up, and then I'll go through and tighten them. All right, well, we're set up now, and everything looks good. The frame of our greenhouse is done. We do have some things that we're wanting to do to kind of lift the metal off the ground some, just so we can flatten things out a little easier. And and then we also want to use that opportunity to try to make the covering as strong as we can. We do have high winds here. This one is exposed to some southern wind, and that's where the wind comes from the hardest. So we really want to make sure we put some effort in making sure it flaps as little as possible and as tied to the ground as strong as we can. We'll have another video segment on that. This was just a little quick short one to kind of show what I had to do to fix the problem that came out of the box. Other than that, so far we've been pretty happy with this. The instructions were a little hard to follow, but all in all, it went together pretty good, and the pieces and everything were in good shape. It is a little bit of a thinner walled aluminum, but that's kind of what you expect with the kind of purchase this was.
Many hours later.
Okay, so y'all joined me earlier when we went through and drilled the holes that didn't come pre-drilled in the kit. So after that, we had a chance to put down our ground cover, so weeds and grass and all that doesn't grow up into our greenhouse. And then we attached 4x4 treated lumber to the perimeter of it, so it doesn't, for two reasons. So one, so it doesn't blow away as easily, adds a lot more weight to it, adds a lot more sturdiness to it. And then for two, it raises it off the ground a little bit, gets the metal a little higher, gives a little bit more head space for me, because it was pretty much right at my height level. And then it gives us also some room to kind of like poke a hose or some cable underneath if we need to. And then also it's going to allow us, we're hoping it's going to allow us when we put the cover on, we're hoping to be able to sandwich the cover and make a much more tight seal with it. So,
and just secure it a little bit better, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's our thought process.
So we'll just kind of walk you around it and show you what we've done. Okay, so right now, we have the ground cover down, and we set those planters on it just to hold it down. We're not quite sure where we want to cut it off yet to make it even. We'll figure that out when we actually put the wrap on the greenhouse. So on every board, we just use some plumber strapping and just use it to help us attach the frame to the wood or to the lumber. We just kind of ran it all across the edge. Here's one of our gaps, so we can put hoses and electrical underneath it as needed. And just kind of showing some of those attachment spots. I did forget to get 5-inch screws to actually connect the posts together, so we had to do some toe nailing, but there's nothing wrong with that. And we have another gap on this side. If we end up not needing this one, we may find some extra 4x4 to put in there and just kind of close it up for more security there. So
that's how it is so far. Some of the thought with leaving this is we may extend the ground cover out just a little bit here, and we may be able to put some planters out here just a little bit easier when we can let them out in the direct sun. Or we may have some pretty it up to make it inviting.
All right, so the reason we haven't put the plastic on, well, we have two reasons probably for that. We had a huge burn pile over to the side, and we knew it was going to get hot, so we wanted to burn it before we put any light plastic on this. And for two, next week's supposed to be kind of weird around here. We got really good temperatures today. It's a real beautiful day, pretty light winds. I think next week there may be some predictions for some snow. I know it's going to get cold, and anytime that we have the temperature change like that, it gets pretty windy around here. So we're just going to hold off. We're not going to be putting any plants out in it anyways. So we just don't want to invite any risk that's not necessary.
So thank you for joining us as we did another segment on building our greenhouse. Hopefully we'll have one more video for this to wrap it up.
So until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.